there's other parts, so like this, for example, consider with some of the tooling to make world building easier. There's a number of other things, like I mentioned, like, gizmos. When I open a gizmo, right now, actually, sorry, hold on, let's do a quick demonstration. So you get one, I get one, say, I'm just gonna make something, and so I make something too, and you select it, and just select it, and you select your own. And make sure like, it's visible on the camera too. You see, there's like two gizmos, and I want to like, I now want to deselect mine. I'm gonna do deselect. It deselects both of them, because right now the selection system, it doesn't actually have proper selection system. The tool, each tool individually kind of tries what it just selected, and it kind of doesn't communicate with anything else. So if we want to deselect all, it just has to kind of brute force deselect everything, and that kind of gets difficult. You also cannot do things, because one of the things you can do, in editors like Unity, you can select multiple objects, and you can kind of do that. Like I can switch this to like, actually, where's the option? Multi-select. I don't even use it often. There we go, multi. You can select like multiple things, but they're like each their own individual selection, because like there's no communication between these two selections. But in Unity, you can select two objects, and it actually gives you gizmo that's like, in the middle of both. So I could, for example, select two objects and then rotate them, around their shared axis, or can like, move multiple objects all at once. What that requires, though, is, for some system to communicate what your selection is. And that's something I'm really looking forward to implementing, because it's gonna be useful, like, for a lot of tools and a lot of workflows, where there's a system that's independent of any particular tool, which sort of manages what have I selected as a user. It has like, a list of selections. You can add to it, you can clear it. If you clear it, you can only clear your own selection because it keeps track of them. But also anything that operates with the selection system can query it. So for example, the gizmos can be, okay, you have selected multiple things, I'm gonna make the gizmo operate over the whole selection, because there's now a system which tells it what are all the things that were selected. You'll also be able to, like, use it to integrate it into other tools. For example, one of the tools we have, the glue tool, allows you to bake things, but you kind of have to, like, organize them in the hierarchy. Once we have a system for handling selection, what we can do is like where you essentially select multiple objects, and you grab the glue tool and you say bake selected, and it'll just bake everything that's currently selected that it can. So it's gonna be another of those systems that I feel is gonna improve, workflow like significantly. Both like on desktop, both in VR. And it's going to open up like it's going to add like, this kind of shared system that like all of other tools wouldn't benefit from, and going to get integrated inside the things. There's also like another things, like, there's like stuff like snapping, which is another thing that's going to be improved, like, because you can technically snap things. You can like select like where you want to snap something, but it's also like kind of limited, right now. So just having that system is going to make it easier to implement a lot more kind of, operations where instead of these things being very isolated, they're going to be able to interact with each other, and we can build tools that kind of interact with multiple things much easier. So this another, 3 of the ramble, going into the gizmo stuff.